Rain lashed against the grimy window, mirroring the turmoil inside John. He sat hunched in the dingy diner booth, nursing a lukewarm coffee. His reflection stared back, a stranger with eyes that held a universe of forgotten sorrow. He had no past, no memory before that day he woke up on a park bench, disoriented and nameless. Life had been a harsh teacher since then. He scraped by on menial jobs, each day a struggle against the invisible chains of his forgotten past. He was a blank slate, a canvas others felt free to splatter with their cruelty. They called him names, mocked his silence, saw weakness in his lost eyes. John bore it all with a stoicism that was as much a burden as a shield. He couldn't understand the wellspring of anger that sometimes surged within him, a primal roar against the injustice of his forgotten existence. He was adrift in a sea of faces, yearning for an anchor, a connection to something beyond the fog of his amnesia. His dreams were vivid, terrifying tapestries woven with fire and fear. Twisted figures writhed in torment, their silent screams echoing through his soul. A throne of obsidian stood amidst the inferno, a shadowy figure seated upon it, its gaze burning into him with cold recognition. He woke up each time, heart pounding, drenched in a cold sweat that was more than just the clammy sheets of his rented room. The dreams felt real, visceral, and they left behind a residue of terror that clung to him like smoke. He searched for answers in the faces of strangers, in the reflection of shop windows, but found only emptiness staring back. He felt an inexplicable urge to draw, charcoal sketches of the nightmares that plagued him. Grotesque, anguished faces stared back from the page, their features eerily familiar. Each stroke of the charcoal brought a fresh wave of fear, a chilling whisper of something vast and terrible lurking just beyond the veil of his memory. The diner door opened, letting in a gust of wind and the scent of rain-washed pavement. A young woman stepped inside, her smile a beacon of warmth in the gloomy space. Her eyes, the color of warm honey, settled on John, and he felt an unfamiliar tug in his chest. Her name was Aiden, and she was a waitress at the diner. Unlike the others, she treated him with a quiet kindness that both baffled and soothed him. She would bring him extra coffee, engage him in small talk, and for a brief moment, the world felt less bleak. Her presence was a balm to his wounded spirit. She spoke of simple things, the changing seasons, her love for stray animals, her dream of opening a bookstore. John listened, captivated, drawn to the light that seemed to emanate from her very being. He found himself opening up to her, sharing snippets of his fragmented dreams, the nameless dread that haunted him. Aiden listened without judgment, her gaze steady and reassuring. She treated his fragmented memories not with fear or ridicule, but with a gentle concern that chipped away at the ice around his heart. Her kindness was a revelation, a stark contrast to the harshness he'd come to expect from the world. He began to look forward to her presence, to the warmth of her smile, the sound of her laughter. He found himself sketching her portrait in stolen moments, capturing the light that seemed to emanate from her. It was as if a part of him, long dormant, was awakening, stirring from its slumber. He felt an unfamiliar pang of protectiveness towards her, a fierce desire to shield her from the darkness that he sensed lurking at the edges of his existence. He wanted to be worthy of her kindness, to offer her something in return for the light she'd brought into his life. But how could he, a man shrouded in shadows, offer her anything but the echoes of his own forgotten torment?